previously in the anime, Cain was blessed by 7 gods and his overpowered abilities were already making him an oddball, but then Cain just happened to save the daughter of the Duke and the King. And both girls fell in love at first sight, so the King and Duke proposed a marriage offer to Cain, and Cain couldn't refuse. That was all good and all. But then Cain defeated the captain of the Royal Knight Order Tijuana, and even she got impressed and fell in love with him. She's an elf princess and the strongest knight in the S-Fort Kingdom. So he's going to have 3 wives to care for, so normal life may get a little away from him. Now, as the story continues, Cain was reading the handwritten book of the first King Yuya and discovers that Yuya himself was from Japan, but unlike Cain, he wasn't reborn in this world but was summoned after an accident. But there his 2 wives came in to study with him together and bro bails out on them. Then his 3rd wife came in for their battle date, but even she was rejected, because Cain had a very important work to do today. Today is his 12th birthday, so now he could officially register at the Adventurers Guild. So Cain was filling out his form at the guild and left his noble title out of information. At last he started from the bottom tier as a G-rank adventurer and Rada wished him good luck, but there's some goon came in to hit on Rada and they belittled Cain. So he simply dodged their attacks to not escalate things, but there a red hair guy swaps in and scared all the thugs away. He's Claude and he knew Cain could have handled them on his own. So Claude invited Cain to have a chat to get to know him better, and there Cain learns Claude is from an ice flame party. His partner is his wife who uses ice magic, and they are A-rank adventurers. But then his wife came in to pick Claude up for their job. Lena kept Claude under her thumb and took him away from their job, so Cain also picked his first job, a goblin hunting job. And for some reason Tijuana ran into him. She's a clingy girl, so she joined Cain to support him as a good supporting wife. She was treating this job like a date. But then Cain sensed the goblins up ahead and both stepped in to save the guy goblins attacked. There Cain casted a boost magic on Tijuana while he took care of the man. And after getting filled with Cain's magic, she was getting lost in her world as she felt like she's getting married to her husband right here and now. But another group of monsters showed up, so Cain beat it through in a big flash. Cain then reported this to Rada that he killed 30 green lizards, which gave her a big blasting shock, so she informed their guild manager. But the manager refused to believe that Cain had defeated all of the monsters on his own. He even accused Cain of attempting to cheat the guild for money without any proof simply because he was a G-rank adventurer. But the guild master heard this conversation and drops by to solve the matter. He found it amusing and called Tijuana in, and as usual, she started being clingy. And their guild master Eden revealed Cain is a baron who saved Princess and Silk from the orc army, plus he's set to marry his sister Tijuana. That taught Cedric a good lesson to never judge a book by its cover, and knowing Cain and his power, Eden decided to promote Cain directly to A rank, after which he asked Cain to take care of his sister. She can be a little out of hand at times, but she's a kind girl, and gods were keeping an eye on Cain all the time, and god of creation, Xenon, wants Cain to become even stronger because the seal on Aaron is weakening by the day. But not knowing about the future, Cain was spending his days in peace, but today is his entrance exam to the academy, and he arrived at the Royal Academy through the South Gate. In this section, there was no noble, only commoners, and he knew only commoners were here, but still Cain never minds it and finished his written test in just 30 minutes, then it was magic test time. And every kid showed how a normal 11-year-old kid should be powerful. The teacher did say that any beginner's level spell they could use at full strength. So Cain used the fire bullet spell and completely pierced the wall and even the area behind. Then after that overkill, it was a combat test and Claude was among the examiners. So he picked Cain to be the first and both of them showed the highest level of combat prowess that the teacher had to stop them midway or else it could demoralize other kids. Everything went well. So the king summoned him because the results came out. So Cain honestly told him whatever that happened, and Cain already knew and apologized. But apology aside, Prime Minister Magnus showed him the bill of the repair cost, and Cain apologized again. While it was getting normal, so Cain went out to see the results at the academy and meets with Silk there. She told him how mad Tellys was that she didn't saw Cain in the exam, so she warned him to show up at the entrance ceremony or else she'll make him sit on his knees. After that, he meets his sister and she told him to prepare for the starting speech because he aced the exams, and she's looking forward to it as well. And then, the time has come and he meets his wives in the auditorium of the entrance ceremony. Wives were pleased how husband looked dashing in the uniform. And husband was pleased how his wives looked beautiful, a harmonious relationship that makes others jealous. But then the principal called out to Cain to deliver the speech, after which the king himself showed up to cheer up the kids, But he was clearly giving a warning to Kane indirectly that a selected few understood. Then in the class, first the teacher wants kids to select their study course to move forward, and Kane was set to sign up for adventurer class. But Silk and Telly stopped him because Kane is a noble with a land of his own, so he has to go for nobility course, but he could take adventurer course as optional. As for Telly's, she wants to take nobility and internal affairs course to manage her husband's domain, and Silk wants to take nobility and commerce to be of help to her husband in any way possible. Then after class, Kane saw Habit bullying Parma for being a commoner, so Kane stepped in and took her side. So Habit threatened Parma that he'll destroy her family. But their Tellys and Silk came in to remind them that nobility title has no value in the academy. Here, everyone is equal, so they all apologized and left. Then Silk and Tellys told Kane to sit down on heels with no question asked. So husband obeyed the orders and the girls hit it off quickly. But there Kane heard a voice of someone directly into his head and he called Kane to meet him. So to find out who he was, Kane went to the place he directed and opened the door, which led him to a whole new world where he meets the first King Yuya, who was supposed to have lived 300 years ago. A greater surprise this time Kane got. His other name is Kazuya and he was the same as Kane when he got to this world. At first Kane thought he was a ghost, so Yuya showed him his status where Yuya was the god of creation. This world they are in is built by him, so naturally he's the god of creation here. And he called him here because Xenon asked him to train Kane. Kane is by far from being strong and Yuya proved it and told Kane that he's destined to fight someone who 300 years ago brought chaos to the mortal world. That guy used an oracle to sow distrust in everyone, and his name is Aaron, whom Yuya and his partner had sealed off. But now that seal is starting to wear down, and since Yuya has become a god himself, he can't meddle in again. And to excite Kane, Yuya promised to tell him about his past life's secret because Kane's past life is linked to this. So without wasting any time, Yuya left him to the sore and told Kane to make it back to his mansion. The way is filled with monsters, so that'll be his training. From then on Kane got his training started and saw it took all he had to defeat the monster coming right at him. Kane was about to give up, but he saw a wolf pup in the same situation, so once Kane thought of killing it to put it out of its misery, but he couldn't bring himself to do it, so instead, he used his last bit of powers to heal it and blacked out. But that wolf pup kept him safe until he woke up, and from then on, their friendship started out. Both together journeys back and arrived at Yuya's home after 4 years. Yuya was impressed Kane took in a holy beast as his familiar, but now, the next level of his training he said is with Dara. And one punch is all it took to beat Kane unconscious, after which he woke up in Dara's home and met his wife, Rory. They even have a baby dragon as a pet and Rory prepared a home-cooked food for Kane. It's been 4 years, so Kane cried out after eating good food. Then he continues his training and each day Kane was showing progress, so while fighting Dara, Kane recalled that Yuya revealed to him that Aaron used to be god of amusement. Aaron used an oracle to make people participate in a death game for his enjoyment. As a result, he was banished and later turned the entire world upside down. So Yuya along with 2 others were summoned in this world, and the 3 of them saw the situation with their own eyes and met the gods who explained the situation to them. The god begged them to save the world, and the 3 ventured to defeat the fallen god, but the fight got Megumi down. And their Seiya used overload skill to somehow catch Aaron and hold him down so Yuya could seal him off, and eventually Seiya and Megumi met their end and they were Kane's parents. So with that rage, Kane got strong enough to beat Dara and returns back to the main sun to see his parents' grave. There he thanked Yuya for looking after them all this time. But now that Kane has to return back after completing his training, Yuya turned him back to a 12-year-old again because he's the god of this world, and with it, he got back home, where his lovely maid and 2 wives were waiting for his return and even baked cookies that he likes. But sadly, our video ends for now, but stay tuned to watch it in another part. Until then, subscribe to the channel and like the video to support me so that I could bring out more anime like this one. So take care and bye for now.